little break. It was good. Actually, they were pretty dialed in. You always get a little nervous coming off of a break. The guys are back into football mode, but it was a good response.
How much are you kind of getting to look at the younger guys in your group this spring with some of the energy you guys have?
Yeah, a bunch. You never like injuries. The only positive to an injury is that young guys probably get a little bit more reps, which is good because they need the reps right now. They need some of them have been spent a year on scout team, didn't get the actual defensive reps they normally would get. So it's nice to get those guys a little bit caught up in the spring.
For a guy like Radolph, what was he even able to do on this year?
Not much. He was rehabbing pretty much the whole year. He had that shoulder injury, so he was rehabbing for the most part. He took his middle reps, and he's really into it. He likes football, so he was as present as he could be without being able to actually take the reps. So, but it's good to get him back out there and doing things with the pads on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, all of them have gotten a lot of reps out of necessity, and it's been really good. So, Ernest, it's fortunate for us and for him, I think, that he's, a mid-year guy. So he gets this extra spring ball, so he'll be, way ahead of the curve when it does come around for fall camp.
With Ernest, what did you like about him through the recruiting process and just what you found out about him so far?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you see the athlete on tape right off the bat, but more importantly, just a high quality person, very focused guy. Still has a lot of fun, but man, he's into it, and that's what you look for is that he's trying to get better every single day, and he's focused, he's disciplined, he's detailed, and that's nice when you don't have to teach him a lot of that stuff early on.
I think some teammates said he hits too.
He does, yeah. He's doing a good job, and so it's he's learning every day, and that's the biggest thing is continue to make big strides. Everybody did some good things. I think everybody had a lot of stuff they had to clean up too. I don't know if anybody stood out necessarily. I think all of them have a lot of things they need to clean up technique-wise. It was the first time we went live, so it's important to understand that the technique doesn't change. You just take guys to the ground now. So that was the biggest thing I got from the scrimmage is guys just need to really dial in on their daily techniques and carry them over to a scrimmage. Not a whole lot of new schemes, in all honesty. Just kind of reinforcing certain techniques. Every year, new issues come up on defense, so we're just teaching some of the new problems that do arise. You always gonna make a few tweaks each year, but overall, scheme-wise, it's not a whole lot new. It's just a few techniques here and there. I think it all has to tie in. The rush, the disguise, knowing exactly what you're going to do, knowing a little bit more what the other team you're playing is going to do too, situations. So there's a lot of stuff third down wise we can improve on. And the biggest thing what we're trying to do is just get our third down stuff in earlier and more often in springtime. Sometimes in spring, you get really focused on the par downs, first and second downs. So we've made it a priority to get our third down in a little bit earlier this year.
On the recruiting front, for the in-state process, how is that kind of involved with the new staff members coming in?
I mean, I think everybody's still, I know Mickey's involved with some of the Omaha recruiting a little bit more, but for me, honestly, it hasn't really changed anything. I mean, I'm still, making the rounds at all the schools and still talking to all the in-state kids. So I'm still really enjoying it. And, like I said, the whole staff recruits Nebraska as well.
Kind of talked about the young guys. So, who are some guys that kind of through his first week and helping themselves kind of impress you?
Well, they all have done a good job of trying to detail out their work. All of them have a long way to go, though. So, I mean, they've all impressed me just by their attitudes, but at the same time, they got to make big jumps daily in spring ball.
Hey Barrett, we're talking to Mickey and Bill Bush today. What's it been like for you to get around those guys? Obviously they both have deep ties to the program, like yourself, but are in their first years back on full-time staff here. So what's what kind of a bond maybe do you share with them just because of the history?
Yeah, with Bill, it's probably more unique because he was also my coach. He coached me for a year back in 2004, and he's a guy. I ask a lot of. I go to him for some advice because I think he's 32 years he's been coaching. He's seen a lot of football. He's been in Utah, he's been in Wisconsin, he's been at LSU, he's been in Nebraska. So I look to him for a lot of advice. And Mickey, same way. I think he's older generation. I think I was 9 years old when I was watching him play, so he's an old man now. But no, he's a Husker, and he's a lot of fun to be back. And same deal, I ask him for advice too. He's been in this game for a while, recruiting down south in New Orleans. So both those guys, man, I try to lean on them and learn as much as I can from them.
Both of those guys have a passion for Nebraska. With Bill growing up here, Mickey obviously playing here. Is it something that you see that's pretty evident in their reasons for? I know you don't know the inside reasons on why they make career moves, but just in the way they go about their business, the feelings they have for the stadium and this program.
Yeah, I'm sure. Obviously, Mickey being a Louisiana native was down there at LSU, and I think. Coming back to Nebraska, which is, you probably say is his second home, being this where he went to college. I think he does have a lot of pride in coming back here and coaching for your alma mater. And, Coach Bush the same way. He's a Nebraska lifer. He grew up here. His dad was a coach here. So there's a lot of pride when you come coach for your home state. So it's fun to have him back.
Is there any way you see that playing out, like the way that they're, in meetings or on the practice field, or the way they interact with these young guys?
That's a good question. And I would think, Mitch, it doesn't really change depending on where they coach at. I think they definitely have pride coming back home, and I know, for me, it's it's just a little reminder when you walk in the building, you're at your alma mater, you're at your home. I think when you're actually coaching, that's your job, that's your profession. But I think when you walk in the buildings, it's it's a little bit extra special.